Welcome back to Living Room Requests.
Nice dance. Patricia Hammond.
Matt Redman.
3 songs,
Nice dance.
as ever. This time, 2 Victorian songs very close together and a surprise from...
1968.
Thanks.
Right, so the first one is from an opera by Benjamin Godard, and the opera's from what, 1888. Although we have this joke, right? If it's classical, it's from no year whatsoever, because nobody ever sees that as relevant.
I'd love to say it's a joke, but it's also reality.
It's also reality, but you know, every song has a date, and every piece and every aria in this case, right? This is Berceuse. It's
Even folk songs.
Even folk
that are anonymous.
songs.
One day somebody sort of came up with something that had a genesis into something else.
Yes. So this is Angel's Guard, the Berceuse, and basically they are hiding out in a cave, and she is singing him to sleep, and Matt's gonna play it
On a little lullabying mandocello.
There are many versions of this, because this was hugely popular.
I don't think there was a solo version of.
But I'll bet there was not a
Mezzo-soprano
mezzo-soprano version. But it's just about everything else. And this is for John. Thank you very much,
Thanks.
John. Caché dans cet asile où Dieu nous a conduits, unis par le malheur durant les longues nuits, nous reposons tous deux endormis sous le voile, ou priant au regard des tremblantes étoiles. Ah, ne t'éveille pas encore, pour qu'un bel ange de ton rêve, en déroulant son long fil d'eau, permette qu'il s'achève. Dors, dors, le jour peine à lui. Vierge sainte, veille sur Sous l'aile du Seigneur, loin du bruit de la foule, et comme un flot sacré qui doucement s'écoule, nous avons vu les jours passer après les jours, sans jamais nous laisser d'implorer son secours. Oh, ne t'éveille pas encore, pour qu'un bel ange de ton rêve, en déroulant son long fil d'eau, Now, John has this on my first CD. I know John has a copy because when I sell a CD,
Oh, it
it's
says their
me
name and
putting
address,
it in an envelope and
No,
selling
it's
it
the
out.
Patricia Hammond merchandise factory
Right. Well,
in Luxembourg.
it is it's a CD from 2002. It's the oldest CD that I've ever, the first one I ever did, and it's French songs. It's kind of like a Belle Epoque collection of Belle
You can
Epoque.
buy it in the link below if you like
Encores.
compact disc digital audio.
Yes, but the wondrous thing about that is, and maybe John intuits this, that it's been years since I recorded it, and when you've done something, it, but you never get to do it again, and it's wonderful to revisit it because you do it slightly differently. I listened to that CD, and I respect the 20-something that I was. But I kind of think, I'd do it differently today.
And you've done this one even longer.
Oh, yes, but never recorded it. So this is also for John. This is After the Ball is Over from just a few years later. It was 6 years later.
Must be a recording of one of our
89,
concerts when we did this.
4 years after the one we just heard. Yeah, there must be. But I don't think this one filmed. Hey. This is After the Ball is Over by Charles K. Harris. He became a millionaire on the strength of it, and apparently, it was the first song to have sheet music sales of more than 5 million.
Can well believe that.
Well, yeah.
I mean, they didn't do bad at Georgia Camp Meeting either.
Now, it's, as with most things from the early 90s, 1890s, it's got all sorts of like little counter melodies and bits and pieces and
very
a
of
lot of
its
details. Very of its time.
It is, but people, some people find music hall, Victorian popular songs, or a faster Charleston-y number from the 1920s. They laugh because it sounds cliched or it sounds like a stereotype. But obviously, needless to say, it wasn't the first time round.
Yeah, well, as we get more distant
novel.
from these times, like who
Well,
laughs
that's less
about
relevant.
it?
Yeah,
who laughs about a stereotype from like 1790?
Yeah, it's so interesting to play to people who are.
Yet.
You're absolutely right. Playing for people,
classic.
Even Patricia and I have been doing this 10 years or something, but playing for people who are 20 years old or something in 2020 was different to those who were 20 years old in 2010, I think.
Interesting.
Already.
Well, we're going to do all 3 verses because, as I told him, if you take one out, the plot doesn't make much sense. I used to sing this as a teenager. It was the first piece that I really sang in public, enjoyed singing, and watched people's reactions as I sang it. I wasn't just petrified standing
And
there.
in the 1890s rose to prominence the Schrammel brothers in Vienna in Austria. And with that came the
instrument.
Often known as a Schrammel guitar or Schrammel Gitarre. And that was luthiered by, in the mid 19th century in this exact form, Stauffer in Vienna. But, this is a German one actually from the mid 20th century. It's got to move it all the way over to
so
see
you
all
can
the
see
strings.
the whole thing.
This has 18 strings, but typically they only
You wouldn't have any less.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have any less.
14, 15,
You want
16.
to be able to play every key, and that's what you have to do it. You have to have that amount of strength, and the thing bends. It's cracking slowly.
Going to do more work on this in future.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you've come
Enough
for the
detail.
songs, luckily you can go to the video description below where you can view all
And
the
you
other
can
stuff
go
about
straight.
You can click.
the beginning of the
I don't know
song.
if you ever know that. You can show more, click the down arrow, and you can click on the chapter, and you go straight to the song. So all of our
You
videos,
don't have all that blah, blah,
present
blah,
and
blah,
future,
blah,
you can
blah.
know. Did you say it's for John? Yeah, you did.
It is for John. Thank you. A little maiden climbed an old man's knee, begged for a story. Do, uncle, please. Why are you single? Why live alone? Have you no babies? Have you no home? I had a sweetheart years ago. Where she's now, pet, you will soon know. List to the story. vanished after the ball. Bright lights were flashing in the grand ballroom. Softly the music playing sweet tunes. There came my sweetheart, my own, my own. I wish some water, leave me alone. When I returned, dear, there stood a man kissing my sweetheart as lovers can. Down fell my glass, child, broken at small, just as my heart broke after the ball. After the ball is over, after the break of dawn, after the dancers leaving, after the stars are gone, many a heart is aching. If you could read them all, many the hopes that have vanished after the ball. Long years have passed, child, I've never wed. True to my lost love, though she's dead. She tried to tell me, tried to explain. I would not listen, pleadings were vain. One day a letter came from that man. He was her brother. The letter ran. That's why I'm lonely, no home at all. I broke her heart, child, after the ball. After the ball is over, after the break of dawn, after the dancers leaving, after the stars are gone, many a heart is aching. If you could read them all, many the hopes that have vanished after the ball. That really suited that instrument. Well done,
Only
but
that.
what a lot of work. What a lot of work. This is marvelous. Oh gosh, I
After
don't
the
think
ball.
I haven't done that one for years and years
No,
and
we'll
years. But what you
like
learned
a
as a
while.
teenager, you certainly remember.
Yeah, I can remember all of those little twists and turns. Remember them all.
Well, you had more.
I mean, I
twists
wasn't
and
really
turns than I
watching.
did.
Wasn't really watching. Right, we've got one more song for you.
Now this is a birthday gift. I do apologize if there's anyone who's been waiting a long time for their requests, because we've had a few, what with Christmas and a couple of birthdays, we've had to sneak things around and put things in and then reshuffle them, because we try and and do things, in time for special date sensitive requests. So there's a few that are going to go out after this that were recorded before. You will get your things, you will get your songs, and never fear. But this is a birthday for David. It is a gift from Suzanne. I'll get it for you. It's right here. And Suzanne has chosen this. It's a song from 1868. 1968. It's called Lily the Pink, which it charted. Lily the Pink. Yeah, I'm wearing a bit of pink, not much. It charted. It was written by the poet Roger McGuff, and Mike McGear, John Gorman, all sorts of people sang on this track, including Elton John under his name of Dwight, whatever his name is.
Ginger Baker.
Right. Yes. No, not him. The other one.
Oh, sorry.
The other one. Anyway, whatever. It doesn't matter. I am more concerned with putting the reputation of Lydia Estes Pinkham right, because this is about a medicinal compound or a medicine that's very boozy, and all these verses are all about what happens when you drink this stuff. But actually, she was an inventor. She was a woman who was an inventor and we call that an entrepreneur, and marketer of. She had this thing called vegetable compound, which was for women's problems like cramps and menopausal symptoms and various women's problems. And she not only developed this and marketed it, but she entered into correspondence with women who had nobody else to turn to talk about this stuff.
Would you call it complementary therapy these days?
Perhaps.
Or alternative medicine?
She was sort of a counselor for women as well. And she was also a passionate abolitionist and friend of Frederick Douglass, who was a neighbor of hers. And the five main, now, as far as having alcohol in a medicine, my goodness, that was pretty standard. I mean, they were giving booze to babies until 1950s, and that wasn't her. That was gripe water. In those days, doctors would inject mercury into your veins. So her medicinal or vegetable compound was pretty fine. It contained pleurisy root, which is a diaphoretic, antispasmodic and carminative, anti-inflammatory. Life root or ragwort, which is a pretty traditional uterine tonic, diuretic, anti-inflammatory. Fenugreek, which is an anti-inflammatory, antispasmodic tonic, various things I can't pronounce. Unicorn root, which is white stargrass. It was used by several Native American tribes for dysmenorrhea, uterine prolapse, pelvic congestion. Black cohosh, which people still take, heavens. And also it had drinking alcohol, which relieves, shall we say, muscular stress. I mean, how many of us, once a month can do with a very strong
It sounds a bit like of that Victorian time, the sort of herbal alcohols that a lot of people drink.
Yes, like Benedictine.
Or like Branca or something like that.
I bet it tastes pretty.
Sounds like that.
I think you can still get it in an altered form. Anyway, these men decided to take the mickey out of poor Lydia Estes Pinkham, 1819 to 1883, inventor, businesswoman, and
he's starting with the chorus. Yeah, you can sing it by yourself.
We'll drink a drink to Lily the Pink, the Pink, the Pink, the savior of our human race. She invented medicinal compound, most efficacious in every case. Mr. Freers had sticky out ears, and it made him awful shy. So they gave him a medicinal compound, and now he's learning how to fly. Brother Tony was notably bony. He would never eat his meals, and so they gave him medicinal compound, and now they move him round on wheels. We'll drink a drink to Lily the Pink, the Pink, the Pink, the savior of our human race. She invented medicinal compound, most efficacious in every case. compound, and now he's Emperor of Rome. Johnny Hammer had a terrible stammer. He could hardly say a word, so they gave him a medicinal compound. Now he's seen but never heard. We'll drink to Lily the Pink, the savior of our human race. She invented medicinal compound, most efficacious in every case. Auntie Millie ran willy-nilly when her legs they did recede, so they looked on medicinal compound. Now they call her Millipede. Jennifer Eccles had terrible freckles, and the boys all called her names, but they gave her medicinal compound. Now she joins in all the games. We'll drink to Lily the Pink, the savior of our human race. She invented medicinal compound, most efficacious in every case. One more time. We'll drink to Lily the Pink, the savior of the human race. She invented medicinal compound, most efficacious in every case. Thank you. Happy birthday, David! From everybody, but also especially from your daughter, Suzanne, who chose that for you.
So if you have any other birthdays, anniversaries, special occasions, you can also commemorate events in national calendars or, in your belief system.
Whatever it is.
Involving a song sung by Patricia Hammond and played by Matt Redman on Living Room Request. If you know of anywhere else who will offer to do absolutely anything and upload it, then, do comment below because I'm keen to hear. That's it, I think.
Yes, and whatever your memories of Lily the Pink, the song.
Well, yeah, we are interested.
It's quite fascinating that so many different kinds of music could chart at the same time.
Oh, in the 1960s in Britain. Oh, my goodness me. Yeah.
Yeah.
See you later.
See you later.